What were you saying right now? Is this movement was going to come down to one issue?
Well, of course, we're against the war, but if we could make it come down to one issue, I think it's important to make it come down to the monetary system. If we get rid of the Fed, if we get rid of the IRS, if we get rid of the income tax, then we'll get rid of the wars too. All these things will cascade. Without their machine, without their iron triangle, you know what I mean? They can't continue doing the wars. So it's like the linchpin. The Federal Reserve is kind of like the linchpin, because it's these groups that have been seeking to control us that have caused wars historically in order to bring up reasons to manage the debt and to create Social Security and the Federal Reserve in order to manage the debt and all these different things. So,
Ron, you also were a victim of this crony capitalism over in Hollywood. It's a very unique story. You were part of the supermarket chains that got raided for having raw materials, raw food.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could speak to that a little bit.
Okay, I worked at the tea booth at Rossum in Venice Beach, and it's a club. It's not a store where people go, it's a club where we pay to be members, and we go there, and by choice and freedom association, we buy food that we think is healthy for us. So we set up this government that's supposed to protect us and keep our food healthy, and then when we're eating healthy, it comes and busts those people. They were literally coming in with guns saying, drop the milk, pointing guns at milk. Okay, second time raiding them. This is freedom in action, and they can't handle it. It makes them feel nervous.
On September 17th, 2011,
Yeah, there they are.
people all across the United States of America and around the world came to protest the blatant injustices of our times perpetuated by the economic and political elites. On the 17th, we as individuals rose up against political...
Can I ask you what brings you out here today?
After this picture. There we go.
You guys are great. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Can you even hear me through this thing?
Would you be able to speak up just a bit louder?
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Great.
What brings you out here, Mr. Anonymous?
I'm here to support the citizens of Los Angeles because I believe in what they're standing for, what they're raising their concerns for. We're here because we are sick of the government putting corporations before the people. The government's supposed to be for the people, by the people, and provide for the people.
Well, you know, and let me tell you something. And you can grow industrial hemp in those areas and restore those areas.
Yeah, you might have already addressed this, but I was curious about, in your estimate, how much acreage would we have to have of industrial hemp to produce enough ethanol to get us off foreign oil?
We can use the studies that I've read are between 9 and 12% of all the farmland in the United States. And that is remove industrial hemp from the term of being a marijuana.
Well, John McCain's been one of the strongest opponents of industrial hemp, and he's come out and said that we can't legalize it because people might start smoking hemp. Does that make John McCain a senile old bastard?
Yes. Well, you know what? I can't comment on that. Maybe he's just misinformed like everybody else is. And the misinformed is that if you smoke industrial hemp, you will get a migraine headache.
What was your name?
The war on drugs failed from day one. Now, I'll give you my best scenario. One of the reasons why we have inmates in prisons dying is because amount of gang violence is because they're fighting over drugs. Now, you have drugs in prisons. What does that tell you? You have these facilities that have huge 40-foot walls with dogs and searches at will with surveillance teams and all the highest technology possible. And if you can't keep drugs out of that controlled system, then how the fuck are you going to keep drugs out of the freest country on earth?